Back at it again. Groundhog's Day a little bit. Ryan, how are you doing today? What's going on?
We're both wearing blue. We both have shaved our beards.
I took the beard down pretty good a couple days ago. Good news is that actually I guess we're going to be able to see sort of in live tracker how quickly this thing grows back. I imagine by next week you will have forgotten that I shaved, but it is what it is. Quick shout out, by the way, to my dad. 63rd birthday was yesterday.
Do it. Thanks. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Problem. So, yeah. I tried to lobby one up for you, just give you one on the tee.
Just say happy birthday to your dad. Just say happy birthday. Don't get into the facts. This is don't let the facts. You
That's
actually
true. That's
think
true.
that Ryan's getting into
That's
the
true.
facts. Ben's into the facts.
That's true. Fair enough. I doubt you're watching. I don't even know if we're connected on LinkedIn. I hope we are. I think we are. Not clear. But Ryan, you're probably not connected to him, so it is what it is. But yeah, you started this. You started this before the show even got on air. You were firing shots off the ropes.
We're going that far back. Okay.
You said not to let the facts, so I'm not letting the facts.
You are connected to him on LinkedIn. I'm not. Travesty. Happy birthday, Tom.
Not for lack of trying on your part, I'm sure.
I just connected. Well, I asked to connect. I don't know if he'll accept. It's a long way to go.
So, quick hitter, couple here that I want to throw out before we dive into the good stuff. Seems like I find these announcements every few weeks or a couple months, but Biden administration has announced that we're going to be withdrawing from the Middle East as of August 31, 2021. What do you think about this? What's the context here? Do you agree with me that this seems to just going to be another volley in the same line of we've seen this a bunch of times? What's the play here? And then if you can also give some thoughts on, do you think that pulling out at this point is the play, and kind of what would you do if you were Biden?
So if he pulls out on August 30th, let me go ahead and applaud him, because he originally said he was going to pull out on September 11th, the 20-year anniversary, which, as we can imagine, is all pomp and circumstance and no real substance. So the fact that he's pulling out every day earlier he pulls out than September 11th, he gets an attaboy from me. Trump should have done this. Obama should have done this. And probably Bush at the end of his term should have done this. We've been in Afghanistan way too long. There's nothing productive happening there. We can talk about nation building or repairing the damage done, but at the end of the day, the damage that has been done, we're not making things better at this point. And you could argue that that's been the case for well over a decade now. So yes, the thing that fascinates me is that when you talk about pulling out of a country with our military, oh man, like everyone and their mama wants to tell you how close to death and destruction the good old US of A is. And it's just not true. It's simply not true. It's a fugazi. It's not real. And explain to you why. We were told, we, the American public, that we need to fight, quote, them over, quote, there, so that they, quote, don't come here. Now, we've seen terrorist attacks throughout the world since then. So obviously fighting them there doesn't stop terrorist attacks. Furthermore, the terrorists that attacked our country on 9/11 were here. They weren't there. So how do you determine which ones will come here and which ones don't is a thought exercise everyone should stop and ask themselves about. The final thing I'll say is do you go back to, I like to make movie connections if you can, because they're simple. Go back to the Batman versus Superman. And Batman has this line, something to the effect of, if there's even the remotest chance that Superman can be bad, we have to stop him. Okay? So Batman, basically his logic is that someone with Superman's power, if there's the remotest chance that he can turn bad, therefore you have to then stop him at all cost. That is a very, very, very dangerous logic to deploy. It's a very dangerous foreign policy. It's a very dangerous way to view the world. So you are gone. I don't know how long I'm supposed to rant here, but Ben is gone. I don't know if he's left the building, if he just removed from the screen. If I remove myself, will he be behind it? There he is. So
the talking head was on a roll, and I know my place is just kind of disappear into the background and let you have the floor. No, I think you're exactly right. I mean, something you and we talked about it a bunch on bringing the closers, or maybe some other podcasts. But I think it's a very double-edged sword of while I think it's hard to argue your points about that the damage is already done and we're really not helping. I think that there is some genuine concern and rightfully so about what the fallout of that presence leaving is, because we have been supplying a lot of manpower, arms, etc., to that region for the fight, and it's not as though when the Americans withdraw that the region is going to be peaceful, and so if we are the symbols of democracy, etc., that we purport to be. And I apologize, I'm not on LinkedIn at the moment, so I don't know. Ryan, does that show who on your side who that is? No. So appreciate you coming
No,
by.
I can see, but go ahead.
Yeah. So no, I think that there's, and I think it's a really challenging question and something that doesn't really have any good answers. But I think that there is something to be said for that we are leaving behind some significant carnage where the nefarious powers out there have an opportunity to regain that power much more easily than they would. Stu, I appreciate you coming in. I'm not sure why it didn't come through clearly, but Stu, appreciate you checking in.
Sometimes it's weird. It just comes through as LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Never understood, because at one time, the first time I ever saw that, I thought it was someone who had blocked me. Like they blocked me or something, and that's not it. It's just a random LinkedIn. Thanks, Stu. A random LinkedIn glitch. Go ahead, Ben. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I was just going to give a quick plug. I mean, Stu, I know that you had one of us on the podcast. If you want to try the other and see how that goes, I'm open for business as well. I'm not going to say good, bad, or indifferent. Just something else. So
if you want to listen, for all of our listeners, if you have a podcast, here are your options. You can get a jovial, bombastic, over the top experience with your boy. Okay. Nothing but facts was mentioned there. Or you can get what's this way. It's opposite for me. The button down Mr. Serious Ben Samuels to come on your program and tell you how it really is. Now, so you just have to determine, or if you're really brave, you can invite us both on at the same time.
That's the win, by the way.
Your podcast software can handle that level of juice.
I'm surprised that no one has tried to do that before, because that would be that might be a little bit overpowering. But what I will say though is, so this whole like straight laced, very serious Ben, you got that like on bringing the closers, but like the talking head has thoroughly beat that out of me. I mean, at this point, and by the way, let's throw this up here: presidential candidate, absolutely. Of which country is a whole different conversation, but let's not go there.
Well, could be involved also.
I was about to make a real. Oh, that was
too soon. It's too soon. Whatever you're going to say, it's too soon. Okay.
It's that one actually might be too soon. That one. Okay, so we're not going to go there.
Even for a don't let the facts. It's too aggressive. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the rundown here. We're just going to go on. We're just going to go on to the next point. Just pull the ripcord on that one. So coming out of the same region, let's just stay regional. So I don't know if you got a chance to look into this at all. Thought it was interesting. Apparently, Saudi Arabia is going to be the backer behind a new digital news platform that is going to be focused on White House lobbying efforts.
Wait, they broke my. That's public. Hold on. I didn't authorize this story. What's going on here?
So it's funny that you say that, because it's funny that you say that, because there actually is in fact an attributed quote to a Mr. Ryan Ray. Do you want me to read the quote out loud, or
go back to whatever you said that was too aggressive? Let's hear that before you tie me to Saudi lobby money, okay? Whatever you had to say, I'll take it. You're tying me to the Saudi royal family lobbying the White House, the same group who killed a man last year, okay? Please, whatever it was.
By the way, just to be clear, what I was going to say is a lot more aggressive than that. Just to give you some context,
wow.
It was above and beyond. So this seems very this seems very out of pocket or something that could be alarming. I'm like, what is the story here? I'm not really sure what to take from this. What's the move here? I mean, is this sort of, what's your commentary here? I mean, like, I guess I'm trying to find a linkage between, the sort of the clandestine efforts that apparently the Russian government and other governments around the world have been trying to pull within the elections. And is this like an arbitrage on something more sort of PR focused? Is this a move towards, like, are the Saudis trying to now sort of out the U.S. for being like friends, and like what's the play here? I'm struggling with this one.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty cut and dry. And here's what I mean. And I always compare things like 1960, just to go back to that time period. The media's it's hard for us. We're kind of young bucks, but the media's grip on reality and how it's viewed and how the news was put out. And I said this on Stu's show, I think, the other day. Go back and watch the ESPN 30 for 30, the People versus O.J. Simpson, and watch how the African American community was treated in L.A. and how little coverage that really got. Okay, that doesn't happen anymore. It's hard to make that happen. So not only do you have individuals who can talk, now governments are like, wait. We can spin up a news company, not have to sell papers, and just put it online. Yeah, let's get into that business. And so I think you're seeing the vast expansion of PR as we have historically understood it, to the individual level, to the government level. And so that's expanding. The other thing is, and people need to hear me here, when you read the mainstream media, please understand that some of these opinion pieces are being paid for by lobby groups, by government officials. Well, there you go. By all kinds of people. And so I'm not saying it's always that way, but there is a lot more. Bill Bishop on Twitter is pretty keen on pointing this out when he sees it, that, a PR, an opinion piece is written by, Ryan Ray, but Ryan Ray is actually, it doesn't say this, but he's actually a lobbyist for this group over here. So the lobby organization is paying for it. The final thing I say is, when you look at last year during CNBC's coverage, because we're about to wail on them brothers, we're about to wail on CNBC. They had on that doctor guy. Who was the doctor? Do you remember his name?
I don't. I know you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
He's on like all the time. Turns out he was on the board of Pfizer. And like he's I think it was Pfizer, one of them. He is literally giving you the COVID coverage, and he's on the board. Now, I'm not saying that makes him wrong. Hear me out. It doesn't mean he's wrong. It means it should be at the bottom. Ryan Ray, board of Pfizer. Like, it should just be disclosed so the viewer understands, oh, wait, his view on this is going to be impacted by the billions of dollars his company makes for a vaccine.
Real brief, quick shout out to Ted Cruz's wife, who is a Goldman Sachs exec. Keep going.
We are the amount of aggression in this show. We can't. Okay, since we started going off the rails, this show has kind of died down. I now know why. Because we are letting this. We're hitting the release valve 4 times a week. The steam has pent up, and it is boiling over, and we're going to get banned from multiple platforms before this show's open, and we have to go back to 4 times a week. Okay. I'm just saying. Brad, you know what? I'll do Brad in a minute. Anyways, it should just be, wow. Listen, I'm over here I'm battling the comments. I'm battling the commies. I'm battling everyone. This show is, oh, gracious. Anyways, they should disclose it. That's all.
What you got? Come on.
I'm
good.
You got? I'm good.
You're on a roll. What?
I'm good. I mean, I'm just over here. I'm over here getting slapped around in the comments, trying to take down Pfizer and Moderna. Oh, gracious. Oh, finally, one more point. If someone wants to pay me to be their propagandist, holla at your boy. That 817 number, it's not personal, but you can get me through there. Okay. I am for sale. Just
by the way, quick shout out.
Yeah,
call in live. 817-601-7031. Again, quick reminder, that is a live call-in line for the show. So if you're listening to the podcast on the podcast app, won't be available. Ryan does that a lot, so a lot of people do.
No, he's
hearing what he says and leaving me speechless.
He's stunned. I was speechless because you guys put me down. Like, you just kicked me. Kick me. Yeah. Listen, if you're calling the number, come in hot. Come in hot. Because CNBC, can we talk about CNBC?
Well, real quick, I was going to make a last plug. When you call in, just make sure that you're ready to go. You're live. You're on air. Get into it. Come at Ryan with everything you got. I mean, he's ready.
Wow.
He's ready for it. He's a glutton for punishment. See?
Wow.
See, even Everett's coming in.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here it is.
There it is. There it is.
Someone's brave enough to call in. Oh, they hung up.
There it is. Thank you, Clay. Hey, why don't we? Do you want to read that one? There it is.
They haven't sent the check yet, so they're not being paid for. Okay, these are for free. I want to get paid for this.
You sold out without the payment. Which one of you messed up there? I mean, just saying.
Let's see here. We got someone on the horn here. Who we got?
Oh, hey guys, Stu Turley.
Hey, Stu.
What's going on, Stu?
How are you?
Good.
I'll tell you what, you guys rock.
Thanks, Stu.
You
appreciate
absolutely rock.
Well, it's really me, but thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I'm just riding coattails. No, we appreciate that, Stu. I really appreciate you checking in. And hey, man, if you're willing to, and if you think that, look, if you think it's a good idea to have Ryan on the podcast at the same time, we should get that done. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
So, Stu,
you guys are more than welcome on the show. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but we'd love to have you guys. It would be an event. We'll turn it into a webinar and a repeat event. We want you guys out there on Planet X.
Okay,
you guys rock.
Stu, well, first off, thanks for coming in. Second off, I put this question on Twitter, and you're the only person I know old enough to answer this for us, so maybe you can help here. Michael Avenatti. Michael Avenatti got sentenced to 2.5 years of jail today for his extortion role with Nike. Do you know, Stu, of anyone who has risen to fame and then subsequently been banished to jail faster than Avenatti?
OJ's out.
Well, OJ was famous for a while, though.
All right. Bill Cosby, he's out.
He's out, yeah. Yeah. So you had to be like a nobody, a somebody, and then behind the slammer. Like this is the Guinness Book of World Records should investigate this. This might be the record.
OJ's out. I'm even afraid of. I have a few jokes, but I just better be careful. This is a family show.
Oh, this is definitely not a This is definitely not a family show. This is far from a family show. If there's kids listening, this is NC-17. You should not be listening to this. Please log off.
Oh, Stu, you have a media company. Hey, what do you think about the Saudi deal?
About the Saudi deal? Yeah. I think it's great, especially if Ryan leaked it to the news. I guarantee you, check his bank account. He is a bazillionaire from the Saudi family. I guarantee it.
Oh,
Ben,
gracious.
You and I are just fleas on a dog next to Ryan Ray.
Thank you. At least somebody else sees it. You're absolutely right. And by the way, Ryan, after Trump shows the tax returns, we want to see somebody else's too. So just to, All
right. We'll see you guys. Have a great one.
Thanks, Stu.
Thanks, Stu.
Oh, gracious. Man. I guess I signed up for this today. I didn't realize I signed up for it today, but I guess I did. And so 817-731. And just so you know, even if I have your number in my phone, I do not know who calls. It just says Google Voice. So come on with your name.
What did Benjamin Franklin say was the definition of insanity?
Talking to you? No?
I mean, he didn't say it, but that's also not incorrect.
Okay. When can I wail on CNBC? I've been waiting for this for like an hour now.
No, we're going to delay a little bit longer. Hold on. I got one more for you, and then
Wells Fargo. Let's go Wells Fargo.
I'll give you one more, and then one more before Wells Fargo. This is a quick hitter. So apparently, the Olympic organizers announced that they are going to ban spectators after Japan declares a state of emergency for the country. What do you think about this? Do you care? Is this a big deal? And then also secondary to that, if you have any commentary in regards to, or if you've been following it all, in the suspension of I forget her first name, but Richardson, the track star who was busted for smoking some pot and was left off the relay 4x100 team, even though she would have been eligible to run the event. Any comments on any of that? What do you think?
So on the Olympic stuff, let's let me just hope. Let me just thank them, I should say. So a few weeks ago, and I don't know, I guess I was out of town. We didn't do a show. Did you see that NC State got booted from the College World Series?
Yep.
Okay. They booted them while having fans in the stands attending the game who all could have had COVID. You could have had a big COVID cluster just sitting there. But they kicked the players out who are socially distanced in the game. It is a game of social distance. We measure by feet between the bases and to the wall. So, at least if they're going to be kicking athletes out for pop tests of COVID, at least they're keeping the spectators out. I can at least appreciate that consistency. Beyond that, can I just be honest here? Can I be honest here? I don't even like the Olympics. I don't even like. I mean, like, I would watch when Phelps was like breaking the records. I'd turn on to see if he can break a record. Beyond, or Usain Bolt. Beyond that, I don't care. I could care who wins the decathlon or the decathlon. I don't even know the names. The shot put, the javelin. Unless the javelin is hitting someone, I won't even know that it was thrown. Okay. So,
if there was
they ride the bike.
What you're saying is if there was an Olympic event that you had to recreate the Randy Johnson throwing the baseball into the pigeon, you would watch that event, but not the others. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, pigeon toss. Yes, if they have pigeon toss of 100 miles an hour, I'm game.
It's like a clay shoot, but with a baseball and a pigeon. That's animal abuse. We do not support animal abuse on this podcast.
I'm actually being kicked out. I think it's a joke, but go ahead.
I think it's very similar to what you said. I mean, I tune in sometimes. It's for the big events or someone's chasing some major record or whatever. But by and large, I don't really. I very rarely tune in.
Kids like to watch it, so I'll watch it with them. But that's about it.
So Ryan, I don't know if you want to answer this one. I don't know if you want to out yourself on what the time was, or if we just want to move on. We can move on. But with that, Ryan, you now have the floor. I'm going to actually go single screen here. You now have the floor. Tell me about CNBC. What do you got with CNBC?
If we actually had a real producer, I would tell producer right now, pull up the clip of me asking Ben what kind of organization CNBC is. And Ben would say, I don't really know. And I would say, it's supposed to be a financial news institution. That's essentially how the clip would go.
If we had a product producer, that would happen. I can verify that clip did happen. We do not. We just have the guy with LinkedIn and the guy without LinkedIn on the podcast. So you got to deal with, what are you going to do?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is at this point. Okay. Here is a headline. Here's a headline. I sent you the link. I don't know why I don't have it up. This is from CNBC. Quote, serious newscaster voice. The upside to inflation, rising wages. That's CNBC. Not NBC, not MSNBC, not what other BNC, whatever they got out there. That is their financial news network. I mean, right? That's what they do. Am I crazy? Am I the only person who thinks that this is a financial news institution, right? First in business worldwide. That's what they say on Twitter. First in business worldwide. What?
Yeah, and Fox News calls themselves fair and balanced or impartial or whatever. I mean, like, what's the point?
Why are you?
I mean, I'm sure Z would tell you that his people have full autonomy to do whatever they want. But
why are you bringing facts in again? We
I don't know.
Thank you. Okay, so the problem with this is that if wages are rising because they need to match inflation, well, obviously that is good in the sense of people can make more money. Not they make more money. They make a higher earning to match the higher cost of the standard of living, right? So if it costs $1 for bread and you're getting paid a quarter a day, and the bread goes up to $1.25 and you get paid 50 cents or whatever it is to match it, okay, fair enough, right? That's good in that sense. But it doesn't actually mean that you have more money unless the inflation goes away and you keep your increase in wages, right? So but the problem is as you increase wages to match inflationary prices, if prices go down and you continue to live on your budget, now you have more available income to spend, which means that theoretically you could increase the prices back up because now you have more spending power. That's a good problem, but we're not there. Where we are is cost is going up and people are getting raises to match the cost, which means that businesses will take that now and pass it on to who? Or is it whom? I never know. The consumer. So the person who's making 25 got to lift to 27 because the cost of living went up. Now their gas, their snacks, their little Debbie cakes are going to go up, and it doesn't matter. Like how.
But I think the other.
Hold on. Let me one more thing, Ben. One more thing. I'll let you. This is like saying. No, go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. No, but what I was going to say there is that with what you're talking about, you also have to remember to couple along with that really when you look at it, wages have been very flat, and the consumer index for pricing has gone through the roof. And so, to your point, if you had sort of a corollary from wages to pricing, there's if you're continuing to ride that and somewhat in tandem, the consumer is not really affected. But if the wages are stagnant, but the inflation continues to go up, that delta becomes wider and wider.
What you want is for wages to outpace.
I'm just going to leave that up as you finish your thought. Just going to leave that up there.
What you want is for
Clay's coming in hot today. I
know. When did Team Ben exist? There's never been a Team Ben in the history of Ben's life, and all of a sudden we've got Team Ben growing up from beneath us.
So the first part of that sentence is true.
The second part's true as well. The whole thing's true. So you want wages to outpace inflation, right? That's when things are going well. Of course, that's hard to accomplish. But I don't. When we talk about the free market, the best way for the free market to make the best decisions is to have people understand what is going on around them, to have an understanding of their business, the world, how they correspond with customers, supply chains, all of this stuff. The less we have of that.
I'm just going to throw that up there as you.
Thank you. I saw you throw that up. I saw it come in. I saw you throw it up. Can I just mute this screen here? Can I look over here and talk? Good grief.
Tell us more.
The next rant will be on our viewers. That's the next rant.
No, the next rant. No, the next rant. You and I are both going to have some fun. The next rant's about Wells Fargo. The next one's going to be good.
I forgot what I was saying. But, you want the free market. You want educated people to be in the free market because they make the best decisions, right? So, and you can have a perfectly free market operating, but the lower the education of the people in the market, I'm not talking about like school, secondary school, or whatever, just their ability to think through issues. The lower that is, the harder it is for them to figure out the best decisions to make. The more educated they are, the better they understand the market and how things work, the better decisions they will make. This kind of nonsense hurts the free market. It doesn't help the free market. From just the standpoint of you're spewing ignorance, and you're a financial news network. Okay, I'm done.
So, I think it's interesting, right? Because at the end of the day, look, when you have the CNBCs and et al. Of the world talking about Bitcoin on air, what are they talking about? They're talking about the fanaticism around it, the things that people talk about.
Bitcoin.
But also even the people that they bring on to talk positively about it have clearly been coached on the talking points to put out there, and the conversation is never on par with any of it. And so I mean, look, at this point, if anyone is expecting anything other than self-serving purposes for ad clicks coming from any news organization, I think you're wildly off the mark. And so, like, everything that you're saying, what?
Why you got to bring the Saudi money into this? Listen, I took that because I needed it. Okay, get off my back about the Saudi money.
God, I'm glad this was recorded. I'm going to cut that. So there's the admission right there. Okay, we can just continue going here. So Ryan, I think that you and I both can come at Wells Fargo. Well, I know listen, if you've listened to any of the podcasts that Ryan and I have done together, you know how I feel about Wells Fargo. For some reason, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, Ryan has changed his tune. He's now in favor of big banks, but we won't talk about that today. We're not going to go there. No? Okay. So Wells Fargo made an announcement today that they're going to proceed with a plan to kill off and maybe I shouldn't use those words, but they're going to end personal lines of credit through the bank altogether. And the article I was reading here, I'm trying to pull it up. It's not pulling up, but it was talking about that as you probably know, Ryan, and some listening may know as well, when you have a line of credit shut down by a bank of their decision, that generally has a very negative effect on credit rating, and that can be something that that can that's something that's going to be considered when looking for future loans, etc. And the article that was Wells Fargo was talking about, or that was talking about this at Wells Fargo, was making the point that this was not going to be something where Wells Fargo was going to be closing them in a fashion that would protect consumers from that, but the consumers may be exposed to that risk, even though this is purely a banking decision. So I want to unpack that a little bit. I guess off the top line, what do you think about this move at the bank level? I mean, do you what would you tell me is the impetus behind this? If you were Wells Fargo, why are you doing this?
They're losing money.
You say that, but I say that, but they can't be losing money in these vehicles. I mean, so it looks like the revolving lines of credit. It's like the average is somewhere between $300,000 and $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually
Let me clarify. They're losing money compared to other ways they could get money.
Well, no, but that's what I was going to say. So comparative to other investment vehicles that they service, the general, so it looks like the variable interest rates for these type of accounts ranges from 9.5 to 21%. That's a phenomenal interest rate for the bank. And so I'm wondering. Yeah. I mean, I wonder if you're right. I wonder if that's the right thread. But at the same time, this has to be. I mean, they have to be relatively easy lines or easy accounts to manage. I would imagine with what we have with liquidity right now, that the default rate is probably suppressed comparative to the baseline. Would you agree with that? By the way, do you think that they are suffering less, or do you think this is maybe a preventative measure from that? They think the other foot's going to fall, and that there's going to start to be a lot more defaults, and they're getting out while they can. Because that's the other thing that I had thought about.
Well, it's a variable rate, right? So if the rate's varying based upon the Fed's movement, then the Fed's not going to be lifting the rates anytime soon. You're not going to make a lot of money on these. Where if you cap it 100,000. Whereas if you're giving money to big business and you can give 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, whatever it is, and the Fed's not going to be raising the rates, you're still not making a lot of money, but you're making more money, right?
Sure, but I guess I would wonder. And thanks, Clay, for the shot at the viewer count. Hey, man, sometimes Ryan, I'm the better looking one. What are you going to do? No, but I think that if you're looking at this a volume play. Wells Fargo is large enough to have all of these different business silos running simultaneously. It's not as though they have to decide, oh, we don't want to focus on this thing over here. We need to do this thing over here. And so it seems to be more, I don't know, there seems to be more there than just we're not making enough money on it. Because if it's profitable, why wouldn't you just continue to run it, right?
Well, okay. How many, I don't know the answer. This would be my question. How many bankers can handle 10 personal lines of credit? Is that one banker? Is that 20 bankers? Is that 3 bankers? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Whatever that number is, let's say it's one can handle 10 people up to $1 million. That's 10 lines of credit maxed out there. Then I would suspect that one banker could handle one company for $10 million. So the overhead cost would seem to be less than the larger loans. and the rates aren't enough to matter. I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't know.
I mean, we're both guessing. No, I mean, yeah.
But the other point about the point about the credit lines, I don't understand how that works, because if they have it, they says that they're going to allow them to finish paying off their loan. So why would it be why would it impact your credit score if you've got it and you're paying it off and it's fixed payment? You see what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to.
Yeah, okay, so let's say Wells Fargo $100,000. They say we're cutting this off. So Ryan, you can do fixed payments for this long, whatever. Okay, cool. Why would that hurt my credit score? What would be the negative there? Just that it's closed down?
Because the account was closed. Yeah.
Credit scores.
The bank. What's that?
Credit scores are terrible. But go ahead.
Do not get me started. We're too far near the end of this thing. We already have. We still have 10 minutes left. That's not enough time. Don't get me started on credit scores. Don't get me started. To put some numbers behind this, Ryan. So it looks like there's 24.9, so call it 25 billion in loans in a category called "quote unquote" other consumers from Wells Fargo, which this article is making the point that seems to be this bucket of capital. So to your point, I mean, 25 billion for Wells Fargo is nothing. And so maybe that is a piece of that. And then also looks like that is 26% lower than year over year. So that's a major shift. I
guarantee you. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I think you're probably going the same way. But I was going to say, I mean, is that sort of just indicative of if you had a line of credit sometime in the last year, you probably paid it off, and now you don't have it anymore, and so that's why there's that fall off? Is that sort of what you're thinking?
That, or the other shoe might drop theory that you said as well, which is, oh my gosh, we're worried about the economy, or we gave out a bunch of credit lines last year that didn't get paid back as fast. The other thing is, how long until they come out and they say, we raised the minimum wage, cost of labor goes up, therefore we had to have less people to manage our stuff, and these loans aren't viable. You're muted, but I'm going to say you said that was brilliant. I'll translate. It was brilliant, Ryan. Go. No, I liked it better the way.
So no, I think it's a bold strategy to – it's just – I mean, it just might be nice to be a big bank. I mean, so if you run your business into the ground, the government bails you out. If you decide that you're not making enough money from the little guy, you can just tell them, sorry, you no longer have a business. You no longer have a product here. You get to charge customers that have no money by definition overdraft fees, $35 a pop. But it must be nice. It must be nice to be the bank to be. I mean, it's amazing to me that basically we have a legal theft system sort of baked into the American economy. It's an interesting deal.
Indeed, it is. The comments of this podcast are going to get us all banned. I think this is why Stu blocks it, so that no one knows who it is. he's actually figured out a way to hide who he is so that no one else knows. That's funny.
It's weird that a StreamYard does that, because I mean, when you look at the live stream on LinkedIn, you see the comment there. But
yeah, I don't know what that's about. Yeah.
What's the answer to this? Is it 3?
Well, when you're running the show, it's a bunch. I don't know. When I'm running the show, none. I'm not running the show, though. See, this is the myth. Ben is the man behind. He's the eyes behind the curtain, pulling all the levers and all this stuff. I'm just here. I'm just talking. And listen, let's talk about my shirt, people. Listen, let's talk about my shirt, okay? I like fishing shirts. Get off my back about it. I don't get to go fishing nearly enough. I think about it quite often, and I like wearing fishing shirts for a lot of reasons. And it's a little bit personal, and it hurts that people bring this up to me. So don't be a fishist. I'll leave it there. Ben's exited the building. Ben, you got to come back. You're muted.
I'm here. I was just waiting for the next fishing shot. What else you got? When are you going fishing next, by the way?
Without you? Soon, hopefully.
Wow.
Wow. Whoa.
See how it is.
Oh, we slaughtered them, bitch. Oh my gosh.
So I think we talked about this already, but I'm just going to do it again because I thought about this morning. So Ryan's on a fishing trip, and like I'm slaving away at the office in mid Texas, miserable. I'll get out. Of course, what does a good friend do when they're on a fishing trip and the other guy is miserable in the middle of nowhere? What do? They send him pictures like every single few minutes of all the fish. And I think you were standing in a kiddie pool that was stocked with fish, and you just had like some green screen around it because so he sends me. So for those of you that didn't see this this comment, and I told this story already on the podcast. I'm going to say it again, and that's just rough. That's just rough, Stu. You're not wrong, by the way,
man.
So Ryan sends me a video. Here's what the video is. He's looking at the camera and he says, "All right, are you ready?" He turns around. He takes the pole. He casts. I don't know. 13 and a half seconds later, he's yanking back on it. Has a fish. Unclear if the fish was already on the line, by the way, because you don't actually see the.
You do. You see the bait. We show the bait. We show the bait.
Don't facts. Don't facts. Don't look at facts. The facts are not important here. And so then, within like in under a 45-second video, he had cast into a lake. Well, quote unquote lake.
Ocean?
It was probably a lake.
Ocean? It's the ocean.
It was probably owned by libertarians. So relax.
Oh, great.
So no, but out in the Gulf, and he lands this like monster fish, and then like I assume he probably did it again. I don't know. So for those of you,
LinkedIn. So we get through, you can go see it.
What I was going to say is for those of you that are you posted on LinkedIn, thank you. So for those of you that want to go fishing and learn how to do it, Ryan is the guy that you want in the boat. I mean, and I'll give you a quick plug, Ryan, by the way, and you tell me if I'm wrong about this, but I'd imagine anybody listening on the podcast, if they want to take you on a fishing trip and foot the bill, you're happy to go.
Done.
Right?
There,
I mean,
sold. There. Now, let's go. Listen, if I take Saudi money, I'll take fishing money, okay? Listen. Let's not get carried away here. The bar's pretty low. You had me at fishing.
Hey, man, last time you went fishing, you were getting stock tips from the guide, all right? So
that was 2 times ago. Yeah, and I wear the shirt. I've got a closet full of these bad boys, okay? I got ones with a hood. I'm ready. Oh, man.
I mean, didn't you have a tuxedo version of that on the wedding day?
Funny story. And I'll just drop this right here for everyone. When I was getting married, I was going to wear it in one of those Hawaiian shirts. Those white Hawaiian shirts, but I won't say who, but someone said we couldn't do that. So, and it wasn't the wife, but anyways.
Well, I didn't know you back then, so it wasn't me.
Well, obviously, yeah, I wouldn't have listened to you. I'd have worn like that would have inspired me to wear it if that would have been the case. So if you want to see a man rip a lip in the ocean, fighting the waves, fighting off jaws, conquering all of humanity, there it is. It's posted in the comments below. If you want to take me fishing, let me know. I'm there. I'm game.
What else you got, Ryan? Or is that a good time to pull the record and just get out of here?
I think so.
Yeah.
It was 43 minutes of pure aggression. Listen.
Today was aggressive.
It was aggressive.
Although if we had started the podcast, can you imagine if we started the podcast at like 2:40 and we caught that conversation on air? That would have taken it from here to
our 3 viewers would have turned into 4.
Well, or 0.
Yeah, probably either way.
So, quick plug before we get out of here. Mornings Off the Rails will be back on Monday, 8:30 a.m. right here. But we are also trying to get over to YouTube, like we talked about. We're trying to get over there.
Time. Hey, I see that down there, Cody. I'm watching the comments. I see what you're saying. You people are fishist and fattest, okay? Watch your mouths. Oh, my gracious.
Hey, Cody, just be glad he wasn't broadcasting from outside today, because you would just see a floating head. You would just see the floating head. Stu, appreciate you coming on. Always good to have you.
Please, in all seriousness, we do it on LinkedIn. the YouTube works so much better. So like people complain about the lag, that goes away on YouTube. Oh, someone calling in? Yeah, someone called in. So if you want to call in, now's your last call for calls. If you're calling in, so someone did call and they hung up. So call back. But if oh, here it is. All right, you're on. Don't let the facts. Who we got?
Oh, it's Clay, man. I was doing my weekly call in.
Oh,
don't worry. Next week I'll be on Team Ray Ray next week.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that was so good. That could not have gone any better. Clay, thank you. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate that. If you want to take it, hey, man, if you want to make some T-shirts that say Team Ray Ray, go ahead. You should do it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I told you I was going to switch the name of the show to the Ray Ray and Fazil Show.
Yeah.
You answered the call. Ryan, this is on you. I was trying to pull the rip.
You know,
you answered the call.
Yeah. Someone calls and hangs up. I'm like, hey, call back to make fun of me. Yeah. Oh, gracious.
Hey, I said Ray Ray and Fazil. Ray Ray's the easy part on there.
You know, I've been called Ray Ray for. Listen, that's like an old war veteran scar. Brad calls me that. It's just like I didn't even. So where are you at in the world? What's going on, man?
Driving actually through Denton, just past the Mean Green Stadium, and heading home.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the oil prices? Because last time you called in, the first time you called in, I think we were talking about that some, but
no, hold on, no, Ryan, why don't you share some of that Saudi money with Clay?
Wow, I was trying to skis around that. Well, I was going
to ask that. I was going to ask when you were taking up on a fishing trip that you got all that money from them. I mean, they're probably giving you a little bit of.
Listen, let me.
I mean, you might go on a fishing trip with the Saudis and start catching some great whites or something.
Let me just say this. Can we keep this between friends here in this conversation? Okay. I was in a meeting the other day, and I said, I'm looking for podcast sponsors, and I mentioned a group that is based outside the U.S. I won't say the name. And I was told to get that sponsorship money, you have to register as a foreign agent. So if you see my name come across the foreign agent registry database in the coming future, I took the money. So it currently is not on the database. So there it is.
I mean, the Russians
I don't
over
think there was any doubt that you took the money.
I mean, yeah, the next logical step for you to go is go hang out with Kim Jong-un. I mean, then you'll just have the trifecta running.
Well, listen, don't go listen inside the war room. I talk about my desire to go to North Korea in the last podcast. That's episode 30. I really want to go to North Korea. Am I the only American that wants to go to North Korea, by the way?
You and Dennis Rodman.
Okay, serious question here. Ben, you don't want to go to North Korea? You're muted. You episode 31.
No, I do. I'm there. No, let's do it. Let's set up a trip with you, Dennis, and I. Let's go.
Well, okay, I'm not. Okay, actually, that's the one time in life you want to say that you were hanging out with Dennis Rodman. It's in North Korea, right? It's the safest spot to be. Anywhere else in the world,
the safest place to be.
If you're with Dennis Rodman and you're like, I'm in danger, North Korea, that's the safest spot to be, is with Dennis Rodman.
Well, yeah, he's like 3 foot taller than everybody over there already, so all eyes are going to be on him anyway.
Yeah. Apparently he's a big Kim Jong-un's a big 90s Bulls fan, so I think going over Dennis would be a good call on that one. So Dennis, if you're watching, you want to take me and Ben over? Yeah, let's do it. I'm game. So, anyways, all right. Well, listen, we're about to wrap up here. Oh gosh, they're killing me.
So when are you? When are you coming? When are you going to go ahead and make the trip down to Midland instead of just like throwing the teasers out there and then not following through?
I haven't not fallen through. Okay, Ben and I were supposed to talk about that last week. We didn't. I promise you, this week we might talk about it.
All right. I mean,
we got to set up and do a show. That's what we got to do.
Like everything else.
We need to. Oh, you know what we need to do?
Well,
The Shack in the back always play music. I only been there one time. They played music.
Yeah.
Oh, they had a live band last night.
Well, let's say what we should do is try to do a show from Shack in the back, but if they're always playing music, it's too loud. So,
Fair.
we need to figure out somewhere.
All you got to do is get it set up and just get it set up, and they'd probably let you do a live show right there on the stage, and then you can have special guest people come in. Like you go ahead and bring Keith back in and get Stu to come down. I mean, there's several people that probably just do a little step-in guest appearance, and y'all could do a little hour and a half long special podcast right there for Shack.
All right. Ben's on that. That's what he's working on as soon as we get off the horn here. So, all right, buddy. We'll drive safe. We're about to wrap this baby up, and we'll talk to you next week, man. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Clive.
Right. See you guys. Thanks, Ben. Bye.
Thank you. All right. So before we sign off here, any parting thoughts, any parting shots? I know this is the last show of the week, unless we decide to fire the thing up tomorrow.
Go check out Inside the War Room. We've got a lot of podcasts coming out, and I put out shows. Okay, I've been putting out shows a lot this week. I don't know if next week we'll keep the pace up. We're going to try to, but a lot of shows, a lot of topics, a lot of conversations. Check it out.
Give me the 30-second. Give me the 30-second on the conversation that you had with Carol Roth this week. That's one I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it, but I definitely want to. Give a quick teaser for that one.
Yeah, so she wrote the book right here, The War on Small Business. And so we talked about kind of what happened last year, some of the same stuff we talked about on this podcast, the Fed, the big banks, how those policies disproportionately impacted folks like me and you, and obviously transferred the massive amounts of wealth to the top 1%. And so the book's fantastic, by the way. Oh, I am giving away 5 copies of this book. So I will link to in here. I will drop a link to where you can sign up. It's just to the email newsletter, nothing special. I'm doing that next Friday, so go ahead and register. And if you want a copy of the book, I'm giving away 5. So there's your chance. And download the podcast. And Ben might have been on at some point.
He's been threatening that. I think he knows it's a bad idea for him, but he has been threatening that. So we'll see if that happens. He did in fact let me. He invited me to co-host Texas Oil and Gas podcast. Who knows if I'll ever get another chance to do that again? But probably not.
I'm on the screen. Sorry, I thought I was off the screen. Yeah. Go. Okay. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So before we log out here, quick shout out to Sky High for Kids.
Hey, Ben. Sorry, I want you to Sky High plug in. Sorry, YouTube. We got cut off because Clay called. Really, really, really consider going to YouTube because it does make the experience easier. We talk about lag and stuff like that, so just consider that. And also, the other thing is, you're about to talk about Sky High. We want to grow the show. We want more people than 3 people watching, or 4 or 5. YouTube makes that actually far more easier than LinkedIn does. And so we want to bring on people like Sky High. We want to promote stuff. So going to YouTube really helps us do that. So please do that now. Please plug Sky High.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and also it can be a lot more of an engaging experience if we move over there. So Sky High for Kids, if you're not familiar, organization based out of Lafayette and actually I guess at this point Houston, Texas, run by an absolute superstar, Brittany Franklin. I've been fortunate enough over the last about a year now, I guess, to be involved in the organization, and we are working towards putting on a phenomenal event out in September in Odessa here, out in Odessa, Texas. September 17th and 18th, we're going to have a banquet, and the next day will be clay shoot and some other things going on there. Would love some involvement, and anybody in the network, anybody that listening to this that wants to either get involved or look at a sponsorship for your team, would love to have a conversation with you. So reach out to me if you would via LinkedIn or email, or give me a shout on the phone. Ryan, I think that'll do it. Unless you've got some final thoughts on any libertarian movements or anything else, or just pulling the ripcord. All right, that's a good move.
Sky High. Sky High needs to end the show. It's an important organization, an important event. So
I appreciate that.
I don't want to go back to being silly after talking about them.
Okay, I wanted to give you one more shot. I wanted to give you one more shot to throw a bow, or a shot across the bow, but you took the high road as normal. So we're going to get off here. Ryan, hope you have a great weekend. See you Monday morning. Mornings off the rails, 8:30.
Let's go.
Be there.